Welcome to Hunter Beyond Time and Space Chapter 14. Don't forget each other in prosperity. Nan Gingchen looked at Qing Chen for a while and said, "Big brother, I wanted to ask the police officers in the police station for help, but they can't do anything about this kind of situation." "Well, there's nothing we can do." Qing Chen shook his head and asked further, "Have you encountered anything strange? What happened?" "It's nothing, nothing." Nan Gingchen remained silent about it. Qing Chen stopped asking. If the other party didn't want to talk about it, he could only pretend not to know. However, he had a vague guess in his heart. Would Nan Gingchen's so-called strangeness be the appearance of a countdown on his arm? But the countdown was invisible to others, so Qing Chen could only rely on guesswork. His first time through the countdown appeared at 6 o'clock last night, and he skipped class and didn't attend the evening self-study, and he went through for the first time at 12 o'clock at night. If Nan Gingchen's arm really had a countdown, when would it appear? Qing Chen thought to himself that this Nan Gingchen was so thin and weak-looking that he didn't know if he could survive in that world if he really traveled there. Their relationship was not bad, not because they had similar personalities, but because their fathers were both addicted to gambling and card games, resulting in their families not having good conditions. After talking about this incident by chance, the two teenagers became closer. At this moment, a student playing with his phone suddenly exclaimed, "What the F***?" It was not yet time for class, and there were only about 10 students in the entire class 2 of the second year of high school. Everyone turned their eyes to him. "What's wrong? Quick, look at the hot search." Jacob held a press conference and said he traveled to a mechanical civilization world. The complete video of his press conference is on the hot search, the student who exclaimed said. Jacob, an American national, was one of the most famous basketball stars in the world, with many fans. The students in the class listened to this and immediately opened their phones to look at the hot search, each one confused. Only Qing Chen was stunned on the spot because he knew what the so-called crossing over to a mechanical civilization was all about. However, he didn't really expect that there were people abroad experiencing things like crossing over and countdown. Nan Gingchen had already opened the video, and Qing Chen looked over. In the video, Jacob sat behind a table, facing all the media he had temporarily invited, and the flashing lights on the scene were dazzling and dizzying. But everyone who watched the video first saw Jacob's left arm, because that left arm had been completely replaced by a mechanical arm. In the video, Jacob stood up and took everyone to the basketball court, then easily threw the basketball into the basket with his left hand, one after another. "Is this a special effect?" Nan Gingchen muttered, "Is it a commercial, made with special effects?" Qing Chen didn't speak. The video was brought back by someone from abroad and was also equipped with Chinese subtitles. In the video, Jacob said to the media, "I accidentally discovered that there was a countdown on my arm last night, and when the countdown ended, I traveled to a strange mechanical civilization world. It's also Earth, with the sun and the moon, but the civilization process is completely different from our world." Jacob raised his left arm. "I gained this arm by traveling over there, just like I replaced someone over there and became a new me. I'm not sure what the principle is, but its strength far exceeds my imagination, and it's also very flexible and accurate. And the reason I am holding this press conference is not to show off to you, that world is not as beautiful as imagined, but rather extremely dangerous. I am holding this press conference to avoid being secretly taken away for research. I declare here that I refuse to be a research object. If I disappear one day, please." Qing Chen suddenly realized at this point that Jacob was a public figure, so he couldn't possibly hide the fact that he had a mechanical limb. The other party was also very clear that the technology on that side far exceeded contemporary times, so he was afraid of being taken away for research and chose a more radical method. This may not be a good solution, and it may be that the other party is more panicked, so he made such a hasty decision. Qin Chen looked at Nan Gingchen at this point, and his thin classmate was stunned. And Qin Chen was thinking that he couldn't bring the bone-cutting knife over or bring the toothbrush back. It seems that the only way to bring things from over there is to modify oneself or hide them in the body. I don't know where Jacob traveled to when he crossed over, across the ocean. At this point, all the students in the class were in shock and disbelief. It was difficult for them to determine whether this hot search was real or a special effect. However, before everyone could recover, several strange events suddenly surged up the rankings. A certain internet executive was found dead at home, with sophisticated mechanical structures suddenly appearing on his body, similar to Jacob's. A certain university student claimed that he also traveled to another world, where not only was there a mechanical civilization, but also superhumans beyond ordinary people. A certain high school student claimed that he not only traveled to another world, but also awakened extraordinary powers. Qin Chen frowned and looked at it. This series of news came faster than he thought, and not everyone was as cautious as he was. More and more news were proclaiming to the world, this is not a special effect or advertising copy, it is real. There really are people who crossed over to that unknown and fantastic world. And the number of crossers is not small. Nan Gingchen murmured, superhumans, mechanical civilization. Does crossing over mean a chance to become a superhuman? A classmate asked, I think the probability of crossing over is not small. Will there be classmates in our school who have crossed over? Maybe someone has come to school with a mechanical limb. I also want to cross over. More and more students in the class, every time someone approached the classroom, everyone would cast their eyes over to see if the other person had a mechanical limb. You know, they are only 17 or 18 years old, the age when curiosity, exploration, and vanity are strongest. Adults may consider whether danger and opportunity are equal, but teenagers filter out some dangerous information, then expect themselves to be one of the crossers. The protagonist of the world sounds very tempting. Qin Chen was no exception. The only difference was that Qin Chen really crossed over, and he really saw those extraordinary people, Lin Xiaoxiao, Li Shatong. Yuan should be one too. Slowly, Qin Chen found that Nan Gingchen's panicked expression faded away, and he became more and more spirited. Qin Chen casually asked, is this what you said was strange just now? Nan Gingchen lowered his voice, I can't tell you now, but don't worry, if I can get any opportunities, I won't forget my brother. Qin Chen nodded, don't forget each other in prosperity.